Hey everyone, welcome to Cidergeist Zealots. That's what we're going to name our special cider for this podcast. I'm Forrest.
Try our beer.
I'm Major, and I guess we're getting into the craft brewing industry.
And I'm Robbie.
Matt.
Brewmaster Matt. I'll call him now.
Brewmaster Matt.
We got a great episode for you today because a new show just premiered on FX. Not just premiered last week, but GuY the Last Man on FX released the first 3 episodes. I think everyone here at least watched the first 2.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to discuss that.
Yep.
I finished the 3rd one.
Okay, I'm halfway through episode 3. And
This seems to be getting better and better.
Yeah, we're going to talk about What If, the new What If, and I think we're going to discuss the Hawkeye trailer at the tail end.
But the new What If
episode. Yeah, let me watch that real quick.
Marvel only had 6 good ideas.
Apparently.
I'm upset, but we'll get to it.
Yeah, so GuY the Last Man?
I'm coming in bitter. This is going to be a negative review podcast for me, guys. Let's do it.
Yay! Always more interesting than the... Yeah,
I'm channeling my inner Matt. Yeah.
Yeah, go watch it.
So, what about GuY the Last Man ticked you off the most? Let's go around the room.
I don't even know where to start. So let's start with someone else.
The end.
And then I'll just start. I mean, I just have a bunch of feelings. It reminds me, I mentioned this in our group text.
Mm-hmm.
But the Fox TV show, The Last Man on Earth, when he was not the last man on Earth, and I was wondering if they were going to do that here, because the show is called GuY: The Last Man, and so I was pretty surprised to find out Hero is hanging out with a group of street rats, and there's a bunch of guys. So
they're trans men. They don't have a white person.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, I was a little confused on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
They had all that testosterone.
The actor, in fact, made his debut in Shameless, playing a similar character who's transitioning.
The testosterone makes a lot more sense. I mean, did I miss something, or did they just not? Because so this is what I'm saying, right? We live in 2021, where unfortunately there's a demographic of people who are taking horse pills to try to horse cream to try to protect themselves from COVID-19. So
there's a lot of weird stuff going on.
If every man died except for me, and I'm a guy, then I don't know. I might get a little crazy. I might start pumping myself up with testosterone, thinking that this is the only thing keeping me alive. I have the highest sperm count.
Well, basically, yeah.
Who knows?
I was very happy. They definitely honored, I think, Brian K. Vaughan's original vision. Every mammal with a Y chromosome died, which is what happened in the show. So only the trans men.
I did think
are still alive.
The introduction was great.
The backup with the Y on the streets. So that was pretty cool. Up to that point, I thought cinematically that was really nice. Okay, so since your one critique has been, noted and
that's
fixed,
great. Yeah, let's keep moving along. No, I love it.
Now the show's amazing. Now, right?
No, I mean, so my next critique is do you want to go on with the plot, and then I'll just point out stuff bring up the president, and then I'll talk about how the president looks like Mike Pence, has the political background of Joe Biden, and the ideological representation of Trump.
Yeah, just a whole mix.
It's pick a lane,
whatever
guys.
They want.
I called in our group text, I called the writers cowards. I was like, if you're gonna be political, make a statement, but don't just mesh all 3 into one person.
Well, the daughter.
You
go ahead.
The issue I have with this show is it's called GuY the Last Man, and there's a lack of why.
Yeah, they keep you wondering why is the last man.
There's too many.
There's a lack of him. And in the comics, they didn't have these long setup backstories for most of the characters, and I think that's the issue. Is there's too much backstory to establish these ancillary characters.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I think
how far have you gotten? Because they do get a little deeper into the characters.
Well, I think everyone's seen the first 2 episodes, so I think we'll just talk about those today.
Yeah.
But how much screen time does GuY have that's not part of his backstory, that advances the plot in the first 2 episodes? Almost
None.
3 to 5 minutes total. You have
he hasn't totally seemed to be the main character, really.
Yeah, he's like the third.
It's been focusing on everything that's been going on.
He's like the third build in the show,
which is I'm okay with. Weird. I would be okay if they spent the entire second episode killing every man on Earth. If it was like episode 1 just like led up to the Situation Room and the president like gets a nosebleed and then boom, credits. Episode 2, it's the whole episode is just people dying across the world, right? Just a chaotic madness. 85% of the budget should have gone to that one episode.
I do kind of like how they
hell in a hand grenade.
I do kind of like how they led up to it instead of just throwing you into it.
Yeah.
How they're setting up like it's just a usual day, and then all of a sudden everything just starts breaking down. But they'll throw in like a hint here and there, like they had that deer, but you could tell it wasn't like hunted or run over. They had like his eyes were bleeding and nose running.
I liked how
then all the rats
dying first. Yeah.
So two quick things. Really
quick. And they showed the meat. And you could tell, like there was definitely something up with that meat.
So one being, as a person who's read the comics and knows what's coming, and I think somebody said this in our text group. First up, I was like, okay, come on, do it. Like,
that was me. Yeah, I was like, well, we're waiting.
What's coming? We're waiting. And 2, in the comics, everything happens at once. There's not this like, animals start dying, rats start dying, some men start dying, then all the men die. It just happens instantaneous, and that's kind of a.
Well, it did seem like all the humans, once the humans got hit, they all got hit at the same time. It did seem like the animals just got hit like an hour before it happened or something.
Well, it was days because Agent 355 sees the dead bucks when she's jogging.
Was that? I thought that was the same day. Maybe.
So no, because she has time to get to DC.
Yeah, she said she earlier with the Oklahoma bombing or whatever.
I was thinking it was like day before or something or more.
Yeah. She was a very intriguing character. I enjoyed that.
I think she is one of my favorite characters so far.
She's sort of like the Michonne of the series.
You know who?
I don't know. She's kind of like the. Well, I guess the woman version of John Wick in a way. But
I was going to say Jason Bourne.
Not as many. Not as powerful. Yeah, gun sequences though.
While we're talking about her, let's just go ahead and skip a little bit. We'll come back, of course, to everything else. But talk about the end. She picks up the Madam President's kid, and spoiler alert, it's GuY. It's York.
Yep.
Dun dun dun. That didn't pay off at all. That wasn't a twist. I didn't have any connection. The number one thing I thought about in my mind is, why does she have a picture of her daughter on her desk, but not her son? And why is she only looking for her daughter and not her son? She seems like a real bitch.
Well, she just thought he was dead because I think her husband was dead. So although
and all the other men died, I would assume the same too. However, I would still have a picture of my son on my work desk if I had a picture of my daughter. No, I'm just saying that didn't make sense, and they didn't do that, so it could be a big reveal at the end. But joke's on you and your shitty writing staff. It wasn't a big reveal.
I was a little disappointed in the first episode. There were no sympathetic male characters. Like the president was an asshole, her husband was an asshole, Hero's boyfriend was an asshole. York wasn't as much an asshole, but
What about Beth? Beth is a bitch. I would have written this completely different. I would have made Beth like so amazing and like fall in love, like on How I Met Your Mother, like season 9. Like you fall in love with the character, and so you're rooting for GuY to find Beth. But now, because Beth is such a bitch in this, like to him and stuff, I gotta go. I know you just proposed, and you're crying, but I gotta go grade papers. Like because she was portrayed so unsympathetically.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, bro, you're like one of the last men on earth. Go find someone who'll love you and who'll want you to go to Australia. Go find the Lady Hemsworth.
Yeah,
she probably did try to go to Australia.
Yeah, in the comics, she's already in Australia, and like they're on the phone when it happens. So like that's why.
Here's my thing. Yep. You want to talk about bad plans, like me taking testosterone if it's going to kill me during this catastrophic event. He's searching for Beth. Why not go to where everyone's being evacuated? Because there's more people there. You have a higher chance of finding Beth.
you're
If the whole
searching for
season
no one is.
exposing yourself as the only man, you know.
Yeah.
But
he doesn't seem to be the smartest guy.
Beth
I've
is
been to a
exactly
couple
like she is
fun
in the
drag shows. He could pull it off with that hair.
I actually liked how they portrayed Beth because she's very similar to the comics. But like I said, like I feel it was like book 3 when he's reflecting, you find out this backstory, and he's on the phone with her, and that's why it makes it so awkward. Is he makes a dinner and her over the phone, and she's kind of like, "No, I'm in Australia," whereas in this one, it's like
this is in person.
So I think that's what made it a little awkward.
Without revealing anything, do they actually say what happened in the comics?
Well, that's
no. Don't answer that. Don't answer that.
Yeah, I said without revealing anything. It's like a yes or no. Well, just a yes or no. Do they tell you?
Yes,
that's all I want.
But
okay.
But now, because he said yes, now I know that I can just sit through the rest of this stuff and they'll tell me what happened at the end. Instead of sitting there on the couch with my fucking Sherlock Holmes magnifying glass trying to piece together every damn clue and check out that side boob. That was a lot of side boob for a cable TV show. That was surprising. Comb through all the episodes looking for clues to figure out what's causing all this. But thanks, Rob. Now I know they'll just spoon feed it to me.
Well, no, they don't.
Well,
like
the TV show
in the comics. And I think
Lost made you work for it until it didn't.
Matt, I don't think they're ready. I'm
not ready.
I'm not ready. It's like 10 trade paperbacks worth of comics, and you don't find out till like the 9th or 10th one what happens to give you an idea.
No.
So
I'll tell you right now, I'm
drawn
too weak. I couldn't. As soon as Invincible ended, I went through and I binged the entire series on YouTube with like different YouTubers and comics.
Yeah.
If this is 9 or 10 trades, I'm not going to make it, and I will probably redact my spoilers. Yeah, I'll probably spoil it as soon as the season's over.
Hey Matt, you know that the one redheaded woman who's like the presidential aide in this, is she like the leader of the Amazons in the comics?
I think they're implying that she is going to become the leader of the Amazons later. But that's kind of what I got.
Oh no! She's going to be important later.
Yes.
She's gonna
spoilers.
No, I just don't like the actress. I don't like the actress.
Because like in the comics, she's like really.
So I was a little confused of the line of secession. But the next one down, she was supposed to have died in a plane crash. Isn't that what happened?
Episode 3, I will give it away. Well, I'll give it away. Like one of them was.
Well, I watched episode 3.
One of the people in the cabinet was born in Antigua, so they can't really be president, even though it's just a stupid law anyway. But it's like I think it's so weird because apparently she's a Democrat in the series. So why was she even in the president's cabinet anyway? It confuses me. Unless she was like speaker, and I thought she was like
senior ranking congresswoman, like just the highest ranking senator or congresswoman. I don't even know.
She's a congresswoman. Like, aren't there any senators? Yeah. And she wouldn't be president anyway. So I mean, it should be like secretary of something. See, I thought she was like,
but they're probably all men, and they just died.
It's like that show.
They said
if you're the highest ranking woman, it doesn't matter. Yeah, if you're the highest ranking woman, it doesn't matter if you're third in line or 300th in line. If the 299 people in front of you die, you're next.
Yeah, but I don't think
I do like her though.
Yeah, I think they said like it's like the show Designated Survivor, right? Where Kiefer Sutherland's like the Secretary of the Interior, like the very last who has to like stay behind, and like the entire White House, the Capitol gets blown up. So I was thinking she's like Secretary of the something, but apparently she wasn't in this cabinet. She's a Democrat, so I would imagine a Republican woman would be the president right now, but I don't know. I guess they just wanted to have their cake. How'd you
guys feel about the world falling apart so fast? Like 8 days and they lost power, or they were about to lose power.
Well,
and like within a month they lost the whole city.
Well, I think at one point it was like 30 days or something.
Yeah.
All the check
like
marks. You had to kind of count all the check marks that just went down.
And by the way,
I am not a fan of that.
There would be way more bodies in the street than there currently are.
No, that smells. No, bodies smell. I think body removal would be like a top priority.
Oh yeah, and that was one of the things. Like,
why are all the cars still there?
They are not looking at the future. They were just looking at.
Yeah, but like
she's
leaving all those bodies like in the building and. Just...
Well, in the very first scene though, there's only like 10 guys spread around who are dead, and I would like, man, there'd be like probably like 20 times that if it was Manhattan. I know they would smell, but there'd be way more bodies
down in the subway. Well, down that subway, I think they were all underwater too. But yeah.
Well, there's that scene.
I think they were all in the cars, but yeah, there would be more on the streets and stuff.
There's that scene on day 8 or whatever, where Agent is like walking through a neighborhood and it's like snowing, and like you see, and like it looks incredibly peaceful. Nothing's askew except for like these 2 cars that are like have collided in the background. But I'm like, guys, it's been 8 days. Move the cars. Like, I understand like mourning and stuff, but at some point you're probably gonna like want to move your car.
I don't know. I think the first priority would be making sure I have food and proper shelter and.
And are you gonna walk there or are you gonna drive there? Are you gonna walk there? Or are you gonna drive there? That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Not in the snow. No. I don't know. I'm interested to learn about the Culpa ring though. And how this show is gonna adapt it. It's sort of like the secret. Spy agency.
It looked really cool, but they all sounded kind of dead. Atlanta, New York, San Diego.
Well, I think there's other female agents though in the comic. So, I'm sure I don't know if they'll pop up this season, but I think we'll definitely hopefully get more backstory. And there's gonna be a lot of flashbacks in this show too, as there was in the comics. So,
I'm just waiting to see how Israel gets involved because I don't know if
they mentioned them. I think, but
I thought that was very clever. That was like my only nod towards the writing. That was a clever
because they're like probably
back
the
and forth
dangerous female military on the world. So they would definitely have an advantage if all the men died. I thought the show. I mean, I enjoy it so far. It's very much. I wish York would be more center stage. Although I think he's like in the show a good bit, but it's definitely like I think the showrunners definitely want to make this more of a female-centric show, even though it's about the last man. But and it's weird because the sister and the mother did not really play a big role in the comic. I don't think. I think they did in the beginning, but like the main bulk of the series, York 355 and the Asian scientist. I forget her name. I guess she's gonna come in later. So that's like the bulk of the story, and like the mother and the sister just show up like briefly throughout it. But
if Agent 355 and York are like the more center of it, it seems like they don't really get together until episode 3.
Yeah, they've just met, But I don't know if this season they're gonna like send them on their mission like they do in the comic, because that's like sort of right at the beginning. But it seems like Diane Lane's like the top billed actress, so I guess they're gonna do a lot more with her than was in the comic. Same thing with the sister. Well, hopefully they'll show her indoctrination with the Amazons, because that could be really interesting. But it seems like this season they're gonna make the Ivanka Trump not so subtle allegory for her the main villain, like the daughter of the president.
Yep.
So apparently, like I think she's going to be like the
You're talking about Hero?
No, the daughter of the
president who had the 5 boys.
Yeah, who had the 3. She had 5 boys.
Yeah, she had 5 boys.
Okay,
wait, the daughter of the former president, or
the former president?
Yeah.
Oh, the former president. Okay.
Yeah, so I think she's going to make trouble for Diane Lane. So,
well, I will say this: when I read that article on Polygon and Sci-Fi last week that I sent out, it really ruined it in my mind going into it. Mm-hmm. And I was really not like happy when I first sat down. And the issues they bring up in that article about what the producer and director are doing with the shows are definitely obvious, with making it, more about the backstory and building up these female characters and exploring the world versus the story, which kind of frustrates me, but at the same time too, at the end of episode 1, it was midnight 30. It was like, let's watch the next one. Like, it really drew her in, and it really drew me in, even though it's different from the comic books in some sense. I still wanted to watch episode 2, and after episode 2, I still want to watch episode 3. So the show itself is good. A lot of things, and not
you just can't hold on to being the comic books thing too much.
Yeah, it's good. I'll see how it goes for the rest of the season. Hopefully they circle back to York a little bit more, but bad show.
Yeah, it's sort of like Preacher. It's season 1 and 2 especially did not follow the comic that much, but I think it was interesting enough to keep you engaged to watch the next episode. Even though
maybe 3, it's nice to see it a different take on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think I was definitely, especially season 3, I think embraced the comic more, at least like the more super or fantastical aspects of it. But I think it's not the adaptation you were expecting, but it's still entertaining. And I think I think
you deserve.
I think women especially will enjoy it, and I think men can too. I
have to second Matt on this one. I think he summed it up quite eloquently. Like, even with all my gripes and nitpicks or whatever, I still finished episode 1 excited to watch episode 2, and finished episode 2 and was debating asking you guys to delay an hour so I could watch episode 3. But I can just watch it afterwards. We got to have something to talk about on the podcast for next week. As much as I'm griping, I am too looking forward to the next episode, which I guess is a sign of good entertainment.
Did you watch it with your wife? Because this is like a good couple watching experience.
I agree. Yeah. With the wife, and she really
watch it again with your wife.
I did not, but
you should.
It's good enough that I will watch it again with her.
Yeah, I mean, it's way better than it's a way better female-centric show than Wonder Woman 84, which was a movie, but
or Masters of the Universe. Zing!
Haven't watched it.
Well, all I have to say,
I guess because of just hearing all the hate on it from you guys, I haven't watched it.
Yeah, no hate for me.
Jerk, you have to watch it, Rob. That was the pact. We made a blood pact when we started this podcast that we would all watch terrible shows together.
Terrible shows. That What If is horrible.
Oh my gosh, the worst. Yeah. I don't know how we could segue any better than that. Let's roll.
So this episode, it was Killmonger saves Tony Stark. So it's sort of like a mashup.
He doesn't save the What If TV show. I'll tell you that right now. It's
an interesting concept, but I guess maybe it was his acting was part of it.
No, I loved Michael B. Jordan in it. I hated everything else.
You didn't like the voice actor for Tony Stark?
Was not a fan compared to earlier episodes.
Well, it's sort of like a mashup between the first Iron Man and Black Panther, which is sort of what they did with the second episode. So it's like you're really doing Wakanda again. So I don't know. I thought it was interesting. I liked that there was a lot of callbacks to the first Iron Man movie, which is like the best Marvel movie in my opinion.
He did have a big thought out plan.
Yeah.
Killmonger's OP. Killmonger's OP.
His plan just kept going.
Like, if his name was Nathaniel Reed, I'd be like,
are the backstabs in this?
Yeah, well, at least they made him a villain.
I love mechs. I'm a huge Mech Warrior fan. I love that type of anime. It's
build the world's most expensive Gundam.
And Disney somehow has made a subject of much so blasé and boring that I wanted to throw my remote at the TV. Like, hey, we have giant mechs. And it's like, cool, I guess.
I think, not to defend Marvel, because you're right, blasé, what a perfect word choice. But you can't make them too good, or people, the fans, we the fans will demand to see them in live action movies in the future. And that looks expensive and a pain in the ass. So if you make them just cool enough for no one to care, then you make some toys, you get some revenue, but you don't have to incorporate it into the future.
I mean, Mech Warrior vibe from those two.
Well, he literally. Well, he said I'm a fan of anime. I think Tony said, "Well, we're gonna get sued by Gundam or whatever."
Yeah.
So,
did he say it like
Gundam?
No, he just mentioned Gundam.
That'd be funny though.
So, but he did mention Gundam, so it was like, oh, that's cool.
Not and he dressed like Vegeta.
That's true. I guess he is a fan of anime.
But to your point though, like every time it fail, it didn't, and then he had a different backstab, and then it could fail again, and then he had a different backstab.
Yeah, not just it was like
that's what I was saying. Like how, like was this just well timed on the fly, or was this a really deep?
He's basically
plan
like
to get back
to the plot armor.
To get back to Wakanda.
You know, he just has plot armor. You know, that's basically what it is. You know, even though, like things just magically go his way. Like
they had the story. I mean, you know what? I guess that's okay. Like I'm upset about it, but I guess if
it was cool to watch, though.
In the concept, we have an infinite number of universes. So with an infinite amount of chances, Killmonger can nail this one. And that's the one the Watcher's showing us. So I concede based on the premise of the television show.
Because technically the version of Killmonger got in the movie was a failure because he died, got killed. So, you know, but I don't know, I didn't really care for this one.
Definitely I thought it was the weakest performance.
One thing I was wondering,
like, had some of the best.
I was wondering when he went in to become Black Panther, because they showed like the spirit of Black Panther talking.
The spirit realm.
Yeah, I was wondering if they could stop him somehow, but I guess not, because they just showed him in as Black Panther the next scene anyway.
Excellent question, Robbie. I'm glad you reminded me about that, because I thought the same thing, right? Like
because he started talking to him, I was like, oh, here's where it starts turning on him, and I was like, nope. He just becomes Black Panther anyway.
So like, if T'Challa dies and T'Chaka can take this magic herb and talk to his son, I feel like he would. And that is when T'Challa would have said, yo, Killmonger killed me. It was just a little too convenient.
Yeah, but it seems to be only he can see it.
Well, I kind of got the idea that the herb enters into your subconscious and makes you see and confront your own inner, machinations, is kind of what I took away from that scene.
Oh, I think
in a spirit world, he's in his subconscious confronting it.
Oh, I always thought of it as like a different realm.
But it's not. Yeah, I thought it's like a.
I always thought it was like
the Force kind of thing.
So I overthought
not just like the Force. Or you're right, and I'm completely wrong. Maybe I've just watched Doctor Strange too many times, right? Like you could be. It could be a spiritual journey inside that. Like when you say that, it makes the most sense. It makes way more sense than somehow he's metaphysically being transported into a different spiritual realm.
Yeah, he's fighting in his head.
Well, damn, I guess
it was that's all we have to say about it.
Find out.
Hawkeye trailer.
Oh yeah, so like when he can flip all the robots back on with a damn car alarm.
Why? Why is he doing that? Yeah. So like, what was the whole point of this? Just become Black Panther? Was
he had a little button that just flip all the robots back on?
So he can fight them and get more. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like, all right, hey guys, I brought this guy you hate, but I also brought an enemy army. No worries, I have a great idea. We defeat the enemy army. I turn them back on just so I can defeat them again
and show off some more. Well, he uses it to prove that he's with them.
Yeah,
but it was on his accord, him pushing the buttons to do it.
I just wanted a Iron Man Black Panther suit. Like combined. That's really all I wanted when I saw the title of this episode. I really wanted that. That would have been so Black cool. Panther? No, Black Panther, Iron Man. Yeah, T'Challa as like an Iron Man, like that would have been so cool. Or Killmonger's Iron Man, I don't care. Just a Black Panther suit with with an arc reactor or something. Some pew 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 pew.
Yeah, but that one little thing does change things so much, of Tony Stark not being Iron Man and him taking that hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then when he's having to fight hand to hand, like what does he do? Iron Man is like his power.
Yeah,
all he could really do was call all the robots to help fight for him, but that didn't do as much.
No.
You guys still
there? We love them.
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, it keeps cutting out.
It was doing that to me earlier, but it, seemed to have fixed itself. Forrest, you still there? Forrest?
He better be. He's the one recording it.
Yeah, I haven't heard Forrest in a while.
Well, let's talk about Rick and Morty while he's gone.
Oh man, he really is gone.
Oh, he just sent a text. Can y'all hear? Mic's muted. This isn't Halo. Unmute your mic.
Oh.
Womp womp.
Wow, this seems like a. Let's talk about.
Yeah, it get really quiet when Forrest is here.
Yeah, let's talk about.
Yeah, well, I was also trying to text him like.
Oh, man.
What did you guys think about the Hawkeye trailer? Christmas? Yeah, a little Die Hard theme.
All right, well, let's talk about the Hawkeye trailer since we got a little time left. I thought it was pretty interesting. Definitely a nice little Christmas vibe, even though like the tonal shift between Hawkeye's character from his time at Endgame is like a complete 180. He's like a family-friendly family man when he was like a brutal killer in Endgame. But now it's like, hey, it's a fun, festive Christmas show from the Marvel Universe.
I mean, he was a family man beforehand. He was a family man on the farm. Then he became a cold-blooded killer. That was his alter ego. He put that aside.
He basically became a better
haircut.
He basically became a better Punisher. He became a better Punisher than the actual Punisher in the Netflix show. You know. So
not the highest bar, but yes.
Yes. So yeah, definitely a major tonal shift, but they're definitely going. It's like the quirky, funny Marvel thing we're used to, but it looks pretty good.
What do you guys think about this Broadway play about Captain America? You care at all? Do you want to see it? Do you wish they spent 5 minutes doing a Broadway play of Captain America's life, or do you want to skip that completely?
I think it'll be more show itself.
Really? See, I just want to skip it completely, but all the buzz online is that like people are like really excited to see this, and I'm like, oh, it's probably got to be good. Well, and then I watched Springtime for Hitler by from the producers, and I was like, nah, it's not gonna beat this though.
Well, it's heavily based off the Matt Fraction run, which is like a very, very popular comic storyline. So that's where they're drawing the main inspiration, and that's like a very popular, story. So I mean, I think that's why people are excited. I've read it; it was pretty good. So,
really, for Hawkeye.
Yeah, for Hawkeye. That's the thing. Like the writer was just like, after 2012, people were shitting on Hawkeye, so I wanted to do an actual Hawkeye series where people will actually give a shit about him. And it turned out to be a big success. Although it's like really a lot of it's like passing on the mantle to a younger female version, which is basically what Black Widow was. So like Marvel's definitely like
you gotta age them out, right? You gotta bring in the new cast.
Yeah,
let me ask you this, guys. Mm-hmm. Matt in particular, Green Arrow versus Hawkeye. Who would win?
Even though I hate to say it, because I hate WB and everything DC, definitely Green Arrow.
You think Green Arrow would beat Hawkeye? Really?
Yeah, because he's a little edgier.
And I'm so dark and edgy. I gotta say, the first season of Arrow is quite refreshing in this superhero PC society or whatever. It's like to see a superhero actually kill bad guys. It's different. Not like refreshing as in like different, not as in like enjoyable.
Yeah, well, if you're gonna make a superhero based around a bow and an arrow, it's kind of hard to do them and have them not kill people, because or at least seriously injure them.
Right? Yeah, I'm just glad it wasn't like 9 seasons of people being shot in the kneecaps or the shoulders, pinned to to the back of walls.
That was season 3.
Yes.
All I'm gonna say is, as a dungeon master myself, every episode I'm gonna keep a tally as to how many arrows he actually fired compared to how many are actually in his quiver. Because there's definitely some shenanigans going on with his character.
Well, they actually did an episode about that where the guy like a crime boss is like, he's exactly 32 arrows in his quiver. So if I have 32 thugs, he should run out by the time he gets to me.
That's hilarious.
And then he gets him, and then he just like kills him with like a knife or something. So it's like, maybe you should have hired 50 goons.
Yeah, he just hits him with like the actual bow.
Yeah, basically, I think that's what happened. Yeah. And he uses his bow a lot as like a melee weapon. So, but yeah, it wasn't a great episode. But I don't know. I thought the first 2 seasons were actually quite good. I think like Neil Adams, who like sort of made Green Arrow cool in the 70s, was just like Green Arrow doesn't fucking kill, and then like the showrunners stopped making him a killer. So
with the introduction of the Flash, right?
Oh yeah,
Flash made him more empathetic.
Talking about shows.
It's not your place. It's not your place to kill people.
Yeah.
There was a college humor Batman, and where they're telling Batman that he's actually killing the people, and Batman's convinced that he's not, and they're just sleeping.
Yeah, they're just
that's what I can imagine.
Yeah. Is that the one with Patton Oswalt as the Penguin? He's like, do you not know what death is?
And they're in the vault.
Yeah. Am I still here?
Yep.
Hello? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
I'll riddle you with questions. Is it a helicopter? It's a helicopter.
And he calls Lucius Fox, and he's like, "Could you guess helicopters?" Yeah, that's the answer. So I think they're called like the Bad Man or whatever. So
there's a compilation online. Maybe like once a year, I'll like sit down and watch them all.
Yeah. They're great.
That's a lie. Probably once a quarter. Yeah,
Pete Holmes is in it.
It's pretty funny. I'm not like the hugest Pete Holmes fan, but he's phenomenal.
Well, he also does. He's like another series called X-Men, like EX, where he basically Professor X is firing the X-Men.
Yeah, that was actually a pretty good show too. Wait, am I a fan of Pete Holmes?
Yeah,
I might be a fan of Pete Holmes.
He's like firing Angel, and he's just like, "Get out of my office, you bird!" And he's leaving the office like, "Bird." The funniest one is like when he's not firing Jean Grey, but he brings her to his office, like, "I'd like you to read my mind, psychic to psychic," and she reads his mind, and it's two of them having sex. It's just like, pretty. It's just funny. She's like totally disgusted. And he's like, "What do you think?" And it's also comic accurate too.
Well, I think that actually expresses how much interest we all have in Hawkeye right now, where we're discussing Pete Holmes and Batman.
Yeah.
Not just that, we're discussing a different Pete Holmes than YouTube bit than the Pete Holmes YouTube bit from the original Tangent. We have diverged 2 tangents to get away from Hawkeye, much like his family.
Yeah. Well, from what I hear, I think Kingpin's going to come back in this show. Like they're bringing Vincent D'Onofrio. Yeah. So that has me interested, and they're also bringing in the character called Echo, who's like a deaf Native American sort of superhero. I think I debuted in Daredevil 2, and I think Kingpin killed her father. So like, I don't know how big of a role he's going to have in this, but it's going to introduce her character. I think the Black Widow from the Yelena Bolivia, both
Yelena Belovich.
Yeah, she's Bolonievich. She's going to be in this too. So they're kind of like packing a lot into this show, but I don't know, it should be interesting.
How many episodes is it supposed to be? Is it 8
Probably
episodes?
6.
I think 8.
8?
Yeah, 8. Oh, wait, maybe 6.
Did they give us 6 of everything else? And then, oh no, did they give us 8? How many did they give us for the last one?
It was 6 for Loki.
Yeah.
6 for Loki, yeah. If they give us 8 for Hawkeye, I will be upset.
Yeah, so we all know with how Disney's been, we just got to accept it at this point. Nothing's really going to happen in the 6 episodes. It's going to set up the next movie. So.
Well, I think that depends on. Oh yeah, it's just going to set up stuff for the next movie. It's not going to be pertinent to watch. I think the next couple of episodes of What If are going to be very telling for the future.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. I noticed in the trailer, his wife wasn't with the family. So I'm wondering if she's dead or she divorced him after she found out about a Ronin. Because it's just his 3 kids. So I'm interested to know why he's not with his wife right now. I'm guessing they're either separated or, she died after she got unsnapped. So, I don't.
She's one of the people who got unsnapped. She was riding on a plane when she got snapped, so she got unsnapped in the air and just fell.
Yeah.
Now, how does that work exactly? Like, you're unsnapped. The plane crash is, and you're just in the air.
If they don't tell you, if the Hulk doesn't say his wish out loud, then they can be as vague as they want to, and they basically explained it that he wished them back, not to their original location, but to a safe location nearby, or something like that. So that's how they got out of
if they're in their same location. Then doesn't the Earth move as well? So therefore, in the cosmos same location or on Earth same location? If it's way too
but if you use that, then time travel gets a little difficult. Although I guess you can navigate around that through like the quantum realm. But talking about plane crashes, I want to say just throwing out a random number, I guess 85 to 90% of pilots are men. So everyone who's riding on a plane during episode 1 of GuY, then like every plane crashed.
Damn, yeah, that's crazy to think about too.
Well, yeah, and also
right. That's what I'm saying. A whole
so that
episode
kills a lot of women
the,
too, right there.
Right, like, and like they only focus on like America, and I mean that's fine. I don't give a shit. But like, it would have been cool to see other places in the world.
They did
like,
mention
also
other places just kind of going dark.
I want to see it. I want to see a plane crash into the Eiffel Tower. Right, I want to see a plane take out Big Ben or the Sydney Opera House.
Yeah,
right?
they really just focusing on their view.
90s Armageddon big box summer, explosion movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to see the world burn.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
Yeah, on TV. On TV.
So I'm guessing y'all aren't excited for this show like I am.
Hawkeye?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Well, y'all should read the comic then.
I mean, I will say the comic was it 2013 that the run started?
I think so. Yeah, it was right after the first Avengers film. So.
Yeah, it was like 2013 in the comics when they kind of rebranded it with that run. It wasn't bad for a while, but it kind of quickly lost interest after like I think 9 or 10 issues.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think the ending was pretty good.
Did shooting someone with the bow and arrow get boring after a while? No. I can't believe that.
Well, he's not like fighting aliens, so he's actually fighting actual like criminals. So it's like he's more, in his element.
He's a street level superhero, and that's fine for street levels.
Yeah, not an end of the world superhero.
You know who? Yeah, but the shining example of street level superheroes. Maybe Luke Cage, but I'm gonna go ahead and segue to Spider-Man because that trailer also dropped, and it broke the mother effing internet.
We were talking about
that. A new one?
Yeah, we talked about that last week, right?
We talked about that already.
I didn't see a new one.
I just wanted to update with some stats. There's not like a new one.
And let's be honest, Spider-Man isn't street level anymore. He's basically just like an Avengers level hero. Like he's always doing globe.
And what about when he's not in the city?
As soon as he attached himself to that ship and went up into space, he was no longer a street level superhero.
Yeah.
But it was a segue, and I was leaning into it. I just want to talk about how they 500 million YouTube views in a day.
I'd say Daredevil.
But sorry,
Punisher,
we already talked about it.
Iron Fist, Luke Cage. I guess Moon Knight are still street level, and I think the Moon Knight series is going to be really like Disney Plus's or Feige's version of Daredevil. That Netflix series, like just really down and dirty and gritty.
I'm not gonna lie. I have never read any Moon Knight. I'm like not. I'm totally. I'm gonna have to do my research. Go on Comixology.
Read the 2006 series by Charlie Houston and David Finch.
Okay.
Really
if you Google Marvel Batman, Moon Knight comes up. So, like, if you're looking for a Marvel version of Batman, the internet will recommend Moon Knight to you.
That's such
but
a novice.
I want to tell you,
do
not walk into Moon Knight expecting a Marvel version of Batman.
Okay. Yeah, it's basically like if Batman had multiple personalities and thought he was the servant of an Egyptian god. Oh. That's
more like Black Adam. Yeah, Black Adam vibes, but that just might be the Egyptian thing.
Yeah, it's basically like this guy was like a mercenary. He got killed, betrayed by his boss, and like he woke up, and like Khonshu, the Egyptian god of the moon, offered to bring him back to life if he would become like his priest or his avatar of vengeance. And
so wait. Are you describing Spawn or Moon Knight?
Moon Knight.
Got him. Got him.
Spawn is a ripoff of both Ghost Rider, Venom, and a little bit of Moon Knight.
No, don't you about Spawn. No.
If you rip off a ripoff,
a guy who sells his soul to the devil.
We've been doing that for the dawn of time.
Well, first of all, isn't Venom like? Well, I mean, like pretty much like all the superheroes, like Grendel, Venom, and Spawn have the exact same mask, which is all based off like the Black Spider-Man mask. So I don't know.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'm looking forward to Moon Knight. I think Oscar Isaac's going to do a good job. But
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think Hawkeye should be pretty interesting. It could be. I don't know. We'll just see. I'm looking forward to it. And we got another 2 months. So
yeah, it's November.
There'll be something to talk about in the show. So we have like GuY the Last Man. We can talk about until I don't know how many episodes are going to be this season. I guess they're going to finish up around November, so we can just have for Hawkeye. But yeah, a lot to talk about in the upcoming weeks. So
how many episodes are in The Last Man?
Maybe like 10 or 12.
Do you know?
10 usually seems to be like the magic number for like FX
10.
shows. Yeah, okay.
There's 10 this season 1.
They released 3, so like only like 7 more weeks of.
Ooh, the reviews are quite mixed online with a 6.6 out of 10 on IMDb and a 71% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah. We'll just see.
I get that.
All right.
Those are adequate scores.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I'll still watch it though, just to see if.
I'm going to get off this podcast and watch episode 3. So I'm going to give it a thumbs up.
It's got me hooked.
Google
You got
user.
me hooked, FX. And I haven't watched What We Do in the Shadows. So FX
What We Do in the Shadows. Yeah.
Is just kick in like and then impeachment. So like FX. Is
Oh
just, like,
yeah.
I was going to say, should I watch Impeachment?
Impeachment. You mean?
You work on that pun and you get back to us next episode.
All right, wait. So
Impeachment.
One other awesome FX show that released a few weeks ago that I've come to love and watched with my wife, Reservation Dogs.
Yes.
Taika Waititi is a
co-producer. Waititi is a genius.
And it's a really good show. It's like funny at times. It's a dramedy. Mm-hmm. It's funny at times. It's serious at times, and it speaks to the bigger problems in their society. But it is definitely worth the watch. The episodes are like 20 minutes long, and I think they just released episode 6 or 7 this week. But definitely worth, checking that one out too.
FX is definitely. They definitely surpassed HBO as they are the HBO of cable. I feel more so than AMC.
Yeah, they are the HBO of cable.
Because AMC is just like more Walking Dead, and they really have not produced a great show since even
Breaking Bad.
Yeah, even Better Call Saul, which I enjoy. I'm going to watch the last season.
Mm-hmm.
It's a far cry from Breaking Bad's quality.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great. It's just not as dark as Breaking Bad, and it focuses on the Mike and Gus stuff, which I don't really care about because it's so redundant. So, that show's definitely stronger when it focuses on Saul and the lawyer aspect of the show. But I don't know. I think FX is a good channel, and
definitely killing it.
Yeah. Well, that's all I got.
I'm good.
Has the shows. All right. I'm Forrest.
I'm Major.
And I'm Robbie.
Matt.
And hopefully we'll all be here next week.
Brewmaster Matt.
Hopefully no virus takes out all the Y chromosomes in real life like the show. All right, bye everybody.
Bye.
Later.
Bye.